So now I'm with Jim of the Pyro crew, and we've got questions for the main pyrotechnicians. And this is the upper area of the castle where they do all the really big stuff. It's not like down below where it's fairly small stuff and the other special effects and the safe sort of arena effects. This is the stuff that's really loud and makes the windows shake, shall we say. Yeah. So, Jim, how did you get into the industry?
It was a few years ago while I was still in the military. It was always one of the directors of music come up here and cue the show. And my boss at the time decided he wanted somebody else to do it. And I came up and spent a couple of days with them up here, and then realised, asked the question: is there career in this? And the rest of it is 3 years later. It's history.
History, yeah. That's the way most people get into industry, though, isn't it? It's just accidentally stumbling in.
Yeah.
So, what's that control system do you use?
Well, the one we use here, it's a digital system called Fire One.
Yeah.
It's pretty bog standard within the industry. It can be manual, can be programmed, really up to you. It's a very, very versatile system.
Yeah. But you do because of the nature of the fact that you're syncing to live music, it's all fired more or less manually.
We would fire this manually because conductors and live musicians are strange beasts.
We do have one part of the show. That is running as time code, but it took quite a lot of effort to get all the bands in sync for that. So it is I think they're doing it with a click track in the ear, so the conductor's actually going to a tempo that fits the rest of the show. But because of the nature of the fact that it is random, it's a live show. You do still fire it all manually. That also avoids any of the technical glitches that you can get with some of the other automated systems.
Absolutely, and things can change. The wind can change up here drastically. We can get told by the production staff at a moment's notice we need to stop firing.
Yeah. They've done that more recently.
They've done that a few times. Health and safety comes into play there.
Yeah, because this display is actually fired in fairly close vicinity to the public, so we have to be very careful. They fire test shots during the show, and it almost seems like a random firework goes off in the show. They're actually testing wind direction. They're looking at where the fallout and the smoke trail and what direction it goes in. It's quite a complex procedure.
That'll happen quite a bit sometimes when we think one thing and what the production team are actually seeing online is another thing. We'll put it up so it's a physical thing you can actually see in the sky. It keeps everybody's minds at rest as well.
And I'm noticing here your Fire One system, actually it just uses what looks like standard 2-core flex running out, and that doesn't just contain the does this actually power the remote modules?
Yeah, it does. There's a capacitor in the modules there. Basically, once we turn this on and arm it charges the capacitor, and it almost sends a pulse to fire.
And it is multiplex. So how many? You've got that 2-core cable going on, but how many channels do you reckon
we can on these ones we can do 29 modules. 29
modules.
Each one of them hold 32 single cues.
Oh, that's quite a lot. Yeah, that's a lot.
So it's a versatile system.
Yeah, I take it there's a little BNC. You guys can't see this, but I'm looking at this controller here. It's a membrane keypad with a few terminals, and it looks like a BNC connector. Is that for a light?
Yeah, it's for a light.
Right,
so we'll get on some sites where we haven't got power, we haven't got luxury of power, and we basically run it off the battery. It's got two big batteries inside of it.
Yeah. So, favourite type of effect? Do you have a favourite?
Brocade.
Brocade.
It's very much imagine a tree in autumn.
Okay.
And everything's starting to flutter down. That's the type of effect you get. When you put the shells up in the back of it, it just looks like massive trees in the sky. It's very effective.
Yeah, nice. So we were discussing earlier on. We're discussing the Disney system.
Yeah.
And the air launch. Now Disney, of course, they put up a lot of fireworks, and they use the air launch system. What are the tubes made of? I think they're stainless steel, aren't they? I don't know.
From what I can gather, because they put all that in place because they're looking at green pollution, 200 shows a year.
And
that's
also
a lot of smoke in the air, and which doesn't make it nice for the
I'm guessing also it keeps the tubes clean, because you have to clean your mortars out as well, because they get caked up.
We get a lot of debris, basically from the shell as it lifts.
Yeah. So because they were using a compressed air launch, they basically just get the shell with the igniter inside it with an electronic control module and a capacitor. So every shell has its own electronic firing system. And apparently what they do, they've got the two terminals next to the launch tube, and the shell comes out with its two wires, goes into that. And it not only powers it and charges the capacitor up in it, but it also interrogates it. It sends signals to it saying things like send me a sample of your clock frequency. And the unit can then time the clock pulses from the shell, and it can send a message back saying, you know, fire after 387 pulses or something.
It's
and then,
a very, very unique system. You know, the proof's in it when you see it online. You see the photo.
That means that the shells fire at the exact height that they specify.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the idea is that it also is a safety feature in the sense that it charges up the capacitor in the shell, which can then the shell can count and then fire its igniter and detonate the shell. But also, if it sends the signal saying armed, ready to go, and if the shell detects the power fails at that point, it knows it's been launched. If it doesn't detect the power failing, it goes into standby mode. It shuts back down again. That's pretty impressive.
It's a very, very safe system, but I guess there's a lot of cost in it, which.
Yeah, but then ultimately they're really banging the shows out. It's probably got a financial advantage.
Yeah, over 200 shows a year.
I just thought of a question that someone was asking. It said, "Do you ever get fireworks from China, and would you trust them?" And the answer is quite a lot of stuff surely comes from China.
Predominantly.
Because the Chinese are one of the world's biggest manufacturers of fireworks.
Absolutely,
so I'm guessing a lot of the companies in the UK probably bring them in and rebrand them. I don't know how many are still making the pyro stuff.
There's not many. I think there's 2 or 3 companies actually that do their own stuff, but most stuff comes from China. Like this show, because we need the show to be the same night after night. Yeah. It's easier for us to go. We want X amount of that type of shell.
Yeah.
And it comes straight there, all on the chain fuses, all ready to go, to an extent.
Yeah.
Some of the runs have to be put together by a couple of steps.
Something I didn't realise. We occasionally have to cancel a show here. If the wind's going the wrong direction, there's a risk that the debris is going to go over the audience. It's just the show can go on to a certain degree, but then it has to get pulled. Particularly the bigger effects, and also there's a noise pollution thing. If the show overruns, if there's an incident happens out front, they go over past a noise curfew and they can't fire certain fireworks. I always thought you'd just take the fireworks out and then reuse them the next day, but Terry's saying that you don't. You actually you load a fresh show every day,
everything
so you get a
has
nice
to be
clean set.
You don't know what could have happened while it's in that tube.
Yeah,
it could have got if it's been a really night, it could have got damp. It might not fire properly. You don't want that to happen. You want everything to be as safe as possible.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, that's the way it is. A lot of stuff can be hasn't been fired, can be refashioned when it goes back down to the factories.
Yeah.
But purely on site here, we don't want to mess around with things like that. We just want to, be able to do the show.
And flower potting. Now, flower potting is the term. Most of your motors are HDP, I think it is, high density polyurethane.
Yeah.
And the point of that is that when a shell goes off inside a tube, if you used another plastic, it could actually cause it to shatter and send shrapnel.
Yeah.
So I've seen these. I've seen when they have what's called a flower pot, and it's sort of like the shell that's supposed to get launched into the air. It all just goes off at once, or something happens that doesn't leave the tube.
It's things like
it looks great to be honest. It's one of my favourite effects is the mine, so it's a bit like a mine, isn't it?
It is, yeah, very much. It's things like the tubes could have been damp, the shell could have been damaged some way, somewhere in between the actual shell charge itself.
A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
It could have it could have been damaged. It's not been put together properly. A number of things can cause it.
But it's kind of rare.
It's very, very rare. I've only seen it once.
But it's impressive when it happens. It's actually quite nice when it happens, I have to say. Because it creates that classic mine effect of the stuff. Someone else asked another question, tracer mines. They actually go up and leave a trail of smoke? Have you come across that?
Yeah, we wouldn't really use them too much.
And they said, why are they so expensive? And I think the answer is...
It's the nature of this business. Sometimes you get stuff that's used all the time. It's fine.
It's cheaper. Yeah, the mass-produced stuff is cheaper. I've seen them and they look interesting. They leave a trace of smoke.
And does the client want that?
I'm guessing it's just because it's specialist is why it's expensive.
It has been a specific client or a specific type of show or what I've asked for.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Specific tasks. I think that's
daytime.
Yeah.
There's a lot of daytime stuff and they have a smoke effect that goes up. So you don't necessarily see the shell explode. You see this big plume of smoke coming out.
Oh, the day effects. I've seen
various
those.
colours.
Popular in China. They do the daylight fireworks, which the shells just leave trails of smoke in the air, and it looks quite good. But do you ever do that?
I've never done it myself. I don't think it's quite done much in the UK.
Traditional, well, of course, clouds and things like that. We really need just a little bit of bright light source.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's fundamentally that's what it's like backstage with the pyro department, the second pyro department, well, the first pyro department actually, because you're the main pyro department. You put up the main stuff that is the sort of main show, and so thanks, much appreciated.